What is up, guys? I'm Andrew and welcome to another Arknights Endfield video. So in today's video we are looking at a tier list from pridewind.gg. So pridewind.gg is a website that I always use if I play a new gacha game because they are always very beginner friendly. They do explain a lot, and yeah, they have a lot of sources between different kind of gacha games. So yeah, I always also do link their website in the description of my videos below. So I think if you're new into a game or if you want to look how good certain characters are, always go to pridewind.gg. But always keep in mind that you have still to build your own opinions about characters. This is something that I learned from playing gacha games for years and years. I do not blindly rely on their tier list, but I use them just to see how they would rank and how they place characters. If I didn't use the characters, I didn't build myself a own picture of a character. I do not judge too much about them. So that is always something that I keep in mind. So let's go over this tier list. I think this tier list seems to be alright. I haven't played every character in the game. I tried to gather all the data from my friends, from other people that I ride with about the game, to have a look at this tier list and to have a kind of educated opinion on certain characters, even though I didn't play them. Okay, so let's start here. This tier list got changed recently, as you can see here by the arrows that are moving up. We have a change log. This is from the 2nd of February, so by the time I record the video, so today is the 6th, so probably 4 days after this. I mean, I saw the changes, but I needed to play the game. I need to got more into it, understand a little bit more what I'm talking about here. That's why I was waiting for recording the video. So yeah, there was a couple of changes. I think we only want to go over them if we talk about the characters. Yeah, I think that Levitain. So okay, maybe we go over the categories. So we have main DPS, support damage, amplifiers, and survivalist. So this is nothing new. If you're very new to gacha games, there are always categories where you want to use your characters in. In this game, you have 4 characters that you can play at the same time, and most of the time, not always, most of the time, you use 1 main damage character, 1 support damage character, 1 amplifier, 1 survivalist. It can be sometimes that you use 2 support damage characters or 2 amplifiers in a team, or 0 survivalist, but this is like, I think, how it is intended to be. But what you always want to have is probably a main DPS character. So in these categories, this is the tier list. We have tier 0, tier 0.5, tier 1, tier 1.5, and tier 2. So the best character are probably the ones that you have in these 2 rows. These are pretty much the top of the game. And if it is tier 1, it is usable, it is good, but it is like not insane. And most of the time, I do understand that tier 0, tier 0.5 is really the crown, the best units of the game right now. And yeah, and tier 1.5 and tier 2, these are more characters that you don't really like to use, but they're like kind of okay. They are usable, but they're like not the top of the game, I guess. Okay, let's go over. Let's go category by category. Okay, so let's start with main DPS. We have Levitain tier 0. I think this is not surprising. This is currently the only limited character that is available, and we probably only really have 2 6-star operators, 2 6-star gacha operators, summonable operators that are available, and that is Last Ride and Levitain. I mean, we could count the administrator as a 6-star operator but I don't really count him as a because he's not summonable. Yeah, he's free to play. Everyone gets him. I mean, technically, Last Ride is also free to play because as of right now, maybe I can show you this real quick. Oh, menu is a little bit confusing, but everyone gets this. Oh, wait a second. Everyone gets this. A free 6-star operator, okay? That's why I'd say technically Last Ride is free to play too. But yeah, I think this is not really surprising. I'd also say, I mean, I use both of these, and I'd also say Last Ride is very good, but I feel like that there is a difference. Levitain is way easier to use. It is very fast. I mean, she's very alt reliant, but rotations of her, I feel, felt way smoother. You quickly just burn the damage of your opponents, while for Last Ride, you have to hit a combo and you have a big burst after that. This is also very cool, but I think that is the thing that makes her tier 0.5 lower than Levitain, is at least from what I felt. So next is these four characters. So, I mean, Yvonne just releases in a couple of weeks. I mean, you could get the chance to play her already in the trial, but I think the trial is not really something that um, shows the character in her full prime. So yeah, I think for the DPS category, I would also rank all these characters the same. Yeah, except for Yvonne, because I don't know about Yvonne. We can see what they telling us in the change log. So they on the 2nd of February. So Yvonne, added in tier 1 and added watches up. As mentioned in the team tier list update, Yvonne is currently not performing quite as well as Lashlight in the hands of most players with currently established rotation setups and encounters. Because of this, we're starting her a tier below Lashlight. However, we're also watch listing her. Most players haven't had a chance to play with Yvonne yet, as this version of her wasn't available for testing in beta. She also hasn't been tried in Umbral Monument either, so it's possible new comps, rotations, and counter designs or energy breakpoints could elevate her performance. So they're also even not sure by putting her in tier 1 right now. So that's why they are telling watch list up, because she's not really available right now. Yeah, I mean, you can summon her if you lose to 50-50, you have a chance to get her, but that is the minority of players. That's why I do think don't really look at this right now. Watch until she releases and then go back to the tier list and see how she performs. Watch other creators, watch other people using her before you build your own opinion on Yvonne. So I would not really look at Yvonne tier 1, but I definitely see Last Rite is over these three characters, which why I can definitely agree that these are at the same. So I used Panda at the beginning. I think Awiwana is a little bit harder to use, but you can use her in certain team comps, electric team comps, or or else. But as soon as there is another 5-star, another 6-star electric operator, I don't know if she maybe would move down. I don't know. I'm not sure. But for as of right now, as of the state of the game, I can definitely agree with the main DPS category here. And I definitely feel a difference between using Lashlight and Levitain compared to these, because I used all of these characters, of course, except for Yvonne, and I felt a difference there, honestly. Even though when I was at the state of the game where I did not know what I was doing. Yeah, Wolfguard, I don't really want to say anything here. I feel that Wolfguard is more so of a sub DPS rather than the main DPS. That's why I think it's fair to rank him here. For support DPS, we don't have anything in tier 0, but we have Program Nick. I don't know how to pronounce it. I always pronounce his name wrong, so I think in the future I would just call him Pog. Okay, so Pog is in tier 0.5. I have Pog, but I didn't build him. But a lot of players told me how insane this unit is. And from my understanding and from the point of view of all people that I talked to, Pog should be tier 0. Pog should be over here. Yeah, he's that good. He belongs to the same tier as the other tier 0 characters. That is what I've heard. And I personally cannot agree, but this is what I heard, yeah? That this is a wrong placement of Pog. Also, in this category, I think everyone is kind of fair, except maybe for Li Fang and Chen Kyonyu. It is debatable if they are both in tier 0.5. If they are not in tier 0.5, they are definitely the top of the tier 1 characters. These are the characters that you will want to use. But yeah, I mean, it is always hard to see a tier 1 character in tiers a 6 operator in tier 1 when we have 2 tiers above. Okay, other than that, I can agree tier 1 is for me good usable characters. I mean, I used Perlica and I used Wolfguard. I didn't use Arknight because he is in a team of Vivanna. He's probably in the team of her, and I just use her a bit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if he belongs here, but I assume because we have nothing else for electric characters that this is a fair ranking, and they didn't change it. So yeah, discussable for me here is to put these two above and Pog one more above. 4-star characters is whatever. I mean, I don't know if we really have to discuss if this character is tier 2 or tier 1.5. If they're tier 1.5, you probably won't really use them, yeah? Only if it is probably your favorite character, then just use them. But if we want to go for good comps, I think we want to look at here and above, probably. Now, moving on to the Amplifier category, they changed a lot here. So, Audelia, I think, is by no discussion tier 0. She's the only character. She's free to play. You get her weapon. She's right now the only character that does all the things at the same time. She can heal. She can amplify damage. She does a little bit of damage. So she is a really good. She's a really good character. But I think more so that she is in tier 0 because there's no one else that can do the same things as her. And now it is really up to see when in the future supporters release. She probably will move down, but she won't become irrelevant that fast. So if you have her, I mean, everyone has her because she's free to play. She is definitely an addition into most of the teams. Not in all teams, but in the majority of teams. So in a last right team and in a Levitain team, you probably will use her. And majority of players will use either one of these two. Maybe some will use Pog. And there she is usable too. So she will be probably a part of every DPS team right now. Okay. So for these, Gilberta, by the time I record the video, Gilberta is not released. But by the time the video releases, I think Gilberta is 1 or 2 days into the game. So let's see for now the changelog of these 3 characters. Let's start with Jaihi. So tier 1 to 0.5, she was tier 1 before. Jaihi is a mainstay in both Last Right and E1 teams, and in general in a very high quality unit offering a ton of amp, solid healing, and good weapon and set choices. She also possesses 2 mods of play: Ultimate Gain with Sharonite for consistent buffing, or with Frontier Intellect stacking for maximum burst. This flexibility on top of her kit and already solid place among top teams is enough that we feel she can sit alongside Antel, who fills a similar role for electric and heat. So probably what they are telling is that these 3 characters, they are supposed to work for different teams. So this for electric teams, this for heat teams, that's for cryo teams, and that's why they move them up, because they should be on the same level. And as of amplifiers, these are the only characters that will work for their certain element and are good enough for their certain element. I assume that the text for Akakuri is the same. So I will go for Akakuri first. Is a character who received multiple nerfs moving into 1.0, with one of them being a major hit to ultimate accessibility. This change is a big deal, but Akakuri is still proving to be a popular and, most importantly, supreme flexible choice within the meta. She doesn't provide the same raw buff potential as Antel or Sahi, but her mix of SP generation, strong weapons, set effects, and spammable combo makes her an easy slot and across multiple archetypes, with Umbral Monument having multiple stages where AoE is valuable. Even though Akakuri may lose some steam from having to start each fight at 0 energy every time, the wide range of her battle skill means she's likely to be a competitive pick there, being positioned well enough to sit within tier 0.5 for now. Okay, so what they're saying is pretty much that she is a little bit worse than those 2, but at least in terms of ultimate accessibility, and we want to be, at least in terms of ultimate accessibility, and because she was nerfed, but still, like, looking into her whole kit and everything as a whole package, she's good enough to compete against those 2. So I wanted to use her, but I don't have a good weapon for her right now, and I already just started to build Wolf God. But moving forward, I will definitely like to replace Akakuri with Wolf Guard. No, I like to replace Wolf God with Akakuri that way, if I have enough resources. But maybe I will also build another team. I'm not sure. I'd like to use her instead of my Wolf God, because I right now use Wolf God. But seeing this, because I always wanted to use her, I'd like to use her even when she was tier 1 and Wolf God was tier 1 too, when they were both at the same tier. But right now, it was tending to like to use her. Okay, let's see Gilberta. This is, of course, keep in mind, pre-release Gilberta. Tier 1, tier 0.5. Pre 1.0 Gilberto was overshadowed somewhat by Ardelia, who can easily slot into most team compositions, and because Gil inflicts with Ardelia's playstyle, as she can't help but apply vulnerability, which locks out Ardelia's combo unless carefully played around. Now with many more people approaching team building, Gil has found strong niches where she can be a best pick for. On top of her already strong generalist role as a gather CC character who is comfortably used for clearing farming content, Gil has a strong position in electric teams, and as speculated prior to release in one of E1's current best options. This, on top of players feeling out where and where not to use her in Levitain teams, is enough that we're following through our watch list of her, moving her to tier 0.5. Okay, so if we explain that, she basically is not tier 0. I mean, she's the next limited 6th operator because she mostly fulfilled Ardelia's role. And the problem is also you cannot use her alongside with the best DPS characters right now. So you probably have to play her alongside with characters in this category. Yeah, you won't use her alongside with these. Usually you pair her with these. And that doesn't make her tier 0. I do think that this is their thought process. But if there is a DPS character from nature, I think because she's a supporter amplifier, or at least often that happens in gacha games, that moves characters from this category up. So if a character in this category releases that is already here or here, sometimes characters from these categories will move up. And I think for Gilberta, this can happen. The problem as of right now is, of course, we have to wait. You cannot use Gilberta with the DPS characters that you already built. Probably, I assume most players or majority of players did build these two. Some built this guy. And from what I did understand, what Pridewind says is that you would not really have team comps with using these three as your main characters, so that you cannot move this, because most of these team comps will use her. That's why she's tier 0. But she will probably be used more so with these characters. So definitely think of summoning for her. But we have to keep an eye on her because it's still pre-release when I look at the video. And yeah, we have to see. Is there anything else here? Yeah, okay. I think I won't cover this character, but if we go for Survivalist, we have Snowshine. I used her at the beginning. I didn't like her at all, honestly. But I also did not build that character. But what I see here is Amber, another 6th operator that is in tier 1. So she is in the same tier as her. I did not use Amber. I do not own Amber, but I could use my free 6th operator ticket to get her. I'm kind of interested in the character. I think character design of this character is really cool. And now that I'm at the very end of the game, I think I'm interested in this character. I heard that she's very, very underrated. I don't know if she should move up a tier. I cannot tell this because I did not use this character. From what I've heard is that this is too low for her. She probably is a character that is really, really strong. And I saw some clips where bosses were cleared in like 3 minutes using her. They're all like team comps that can fast clear her. And notice, or in my experience of playing other gacha games, I never, especially on the first couple of release weeks, should underestimate characters, especially 6th operators, if they're on lower tiers. Okay, as we can see right now, this, and this are probably lower tiers, and I already told that Li Feng could be a tier 0.5 character. Yvonne is not released yet, and I think that she could probably be also a tier 0.5 character. We will see, or she will. I don't know if she will end up tier 0, but she could end up in tier 0.5. And the same could go with Amber. Yeah? So that's why, unfortunately, now I cannot really tell. Pridewind has her on tier 1. We don't have anything about the changelog. Do we have maybe something in changelog here? We don't have any information on the changelog right now. But, I mean, we can go to the character, and they often have a review here. And here, despite having an easy to trigger combo skill, it can sometimes be inconvenient to activate. The combo skill does not heal when it misses enemies. No damage boosting potential outside of sets and weapons. Yeah, I mean, they always at least explain why they think the character is there. But at least for me, I think that I could see myself picking her as my 3/6 operator, build this character and test her myself, and then I probably tell myself if she's tier 0.5 or if she's tier 1. Yeah. So overall, I think this tier list is still really, really good. I like pridewin.gg for that. I mean, as I already said, I'm not involved too much into placing these characters. This was just my personal opinion here. But yeah, as of right now, I probably will try to update. Oh, why is this zoomed in right now? Dang it. Okay, I will okay, doesn't matter. I will end the video anyway. So, as of the release of Gilberta in a couple of weeks, I probably could see that there will be some movement here in the meta, and maybe when Yvonne releases. So either when movement happens for Gilberta or when Yvonne releases, I will probably come here back on the Pridewin list and view it, and then we will see how things have changed over the weeks. Yeah, but up until then, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and subscribe for more Arknights and Endfield content, and see you guys next time. Bye.